a trade that is a good thing for both parties and for the players, being traded knocks these guys for a loop.
Coach Calipari, who seems like he's always involved in these conversations every time former Kentucky players seem to get traded, and who would know better than Coach Calipari as to what it feels like for Demarcus Cousins. He gave a very emotional farewell to Sacramento yesterday. He really liked this town. Why? I have no idea. I don't know why anybody would be personally attached to Sacramento. I have been there, and it is a hellhole.
I think he's just trying to be nice on the way out here.
Yeah, well,
to show he's not as
well, he apparently liked the
as...
town a lot. I just don't get it. I don't know why he liked that town so much, but apparently he does like that town very much. I think it was the $30 million that he would have, the incentive for staying in Sacramento, but neither here nor there. He is gone, but we are here now, 4-day work week, President's Day. We had off yesterday. Hope you had off. Hope you had a chance to enjoy your 3-day weekend. I know we did. Zemach, you feeling better, man?
I am a new man.
You were a little under the weather last week?
Yes, I was.
You all right now?
Did absolutely nothing over the weekend, and it served me well.
Smart man. Smart man.
Feeling better.
Wish I could say the same. Let's drive myself right into the ground. Right into the ground. Dig the hole. So one of the best parts of getting a trade that early is the fact that you get all these other teams that are going, hey, whoa, what's going on? Hey, now that that's out of the way, what are we going to do? We call them aftershocks. And this is what happens to the rest of the trade window now that one of the biggest pieces is removed. And let's face it, Demarcus Cousins is a huge piece that was just removed. There was a lot of rumors circulating regarding this guy. Now all of a sudden, he's off the table.
And he was the biggest name, and we knew he was going to be moved. The question was to where.
Yes. And listen, the Kings and the Pelicans are in a group hovering around the Western Conference 8th seed right now. So Denver, Portland, Sacramento, New Orleans, Dallas, Minnesota, they all have between 22 and 25 wins, between 31 and 35 losses. Each one of those teams has recently stated that they absolutely plan on making the playoffs. They have all intentions of making the playoffs.
Including also the big trade last week with Serge Ibaka going to Toronto, another big man on the move.
Yes, but also keep in mind that none of those teams I just mentioned have done anything more than go 6-4 in their last 10 games. So, congratulations. The prize of that group of teams we just mentioned fighting for the 8th seed is you get a first-round game against series against, the most stacked team in NBA history. So, congratulations. So, what do you do there? Honestly, what do you do there? You got wildly incomplete teams that need help across the board looking at this 8th seed.
Even when you dive deeper, even these 5, 6, 7 seeds need a lot of help.
Yeah.
Look at the East. The Celtics, they need another addition if they're going to do anything.
Well, Denver and Minnesota are very, very young. It's funny. Denver and Minnesota are teams that need an infusion of some elderly folk, some veterans.
Someone to mentor the young talent they have over there.
Dallas is completely the other way. Dallas is in desperate need of the youth infusion. They need a bunch of younger guys to be able to get in there to bring their youngsters along. So you've got a lot of people all over the map right now. A lot of questions were going to be surrounded Demarcus Cousins. Where does he go? Where does he stay? A lot of GMs were going, well, now that he's off the board, that's a new landscape to navigate with, isn't it? And maybe the funniest part of this next 48 hours are the rumors and the innuendos coming out. There are 2 such rumors and innuendos I keep scratching my head at. I think they're fantastic, but I don't buy into any of them. First and foremost, according to ESPN's Ian Begley, the Timberwolves are in heated talks to the Knicks about a possible trade involving Derrick Rose.
This is correct me if I'm wrong. They still have Ricky Rubio, right?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves the guy that they credit with ruining Derrick Rose's career?
Oh, that's right.
I'm just curious. Isn't
Tom
Thibs?
Thibodeau, yes.
As much as I love Thibs, but aren't you the dude that everyone blamed for ruining Derrick Rose to begin with? You ran him into the ground? Huh? I don't know. Where the hell does this come from?
That's a great question.
And they are trying to move Ricky Rubio.
Right, I was just going to say, because they want to move Rubio, but they want to replace him with Rose?
How the hell is Derrick Rose an upgrade from Ricky Rubio, especially on the defensive end?
Oh.
Well, listen, Zach LaVine is out. He's got the ACL. So I understand that Derrick Rose will certainly help you on the offensive side. But, okay.
But also, Derrick Rose is a free agent at the end of the season, and Minnesota's 22-35. So where are they expecting to go with Derrick Rose? Unless they're trying to shed contracts.
Well, listen, to be fair to Derrick Rose, okay, Derrick Rose has not exactly played terrible this year. He's averaging close to 18 points a game. He's shooting 46%, but he really hasn't helped move the needle in New York, and really that's what, more than anything else, people were hoping he would do, and he hasn't. Now it sounds like he's going to be anybody they can dump him off on, they're going to dump him off on. But Minnesota is just mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, that makes no sense whatsoever.
This was the guy that everybody, including a lot of people in Derrick Rose's camp, pointed to Thibodeau and said, "You're the reason why he's always hurt. You buried this guy."
And they were constantly butting heads.
Yes.
And now you have young talent on the Timberwolves team, and you want to bring someone like Derrick Rose in who could, I don't know, start mouthing off in the locker room?
The whole thing is very strange. It really is. Very, very strange to me. And then, who could be next? Well, there is a giant rumor that the Celtics are looking to upgrade. Well,
and they're going to need to if they want to do anything.
Oh, absolutely. We all love the Celtics. We love the direction they're going. Brad Stevens, to me, is one of the best young coaches in the NBA. He reminds me of a young Pat Riley, going to be around forever.
And Isaiah Thomas is one of the best players in the NBA, period.
Yep. Danny Ainge, as stingy as he has been with his first-round picks and giving them up, the guy loves to collect picks. Not sure why. But there is a big rumor that Boston is making a big play for Jimmy Butler. And the Celtics have the assets to make this happen because of all of those first-round draft picks that they have accumulated. So if you are Chicago and you're looking at that team right now filled with guards and forwards, and you're going, we need to upgrade here a little bit because this isn't working. And not to mention, I don't know why you would bring in a coach who plays a very up-tempo style offense with the Chicago Bulls, only to hand him Rajon Rondo, Dwayne Wade, and a bunch of dudes who run nothing like that. So Jimmy Butler is the odd man out there, and if they can get a whole boatload of first-round draft picks, it'll be interesting. And let's face it, Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics, they're under. There are some people that are talking, saying, let's go. If you're going to make a trade, let's do this. Stop sitting on your hands like you have over the last couple of years. Let's make something happen.
No, it's kind of in front of you.
Number 2 seed right now.
Number 2 seed, and Kevin Love, we know, is out for an extended period of time. Maybe a chance to get the 1 seed.
Yep. And Jimmy Butler's, 27? He's certainly a guy that you can build a team around.
Absolutely. Great addition to Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford.
Yep.
And some of the talent they have there.
Yes. And the Bulls they got draft picks and they have salary cap flexibility, the Bulls too. So they have the ability to make some moves here also.
And now Jimmy Butler would not be cheap,
no.
But the Celtics have they have a ton of draft picks, and specifically they have draft picks coming from the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, who are the worst team in basketball. So they got
I don't know why you would
work with.
I understand why Boston would want to make it. I don't know why Chicago would get rid of Taj Gibson. I can understand that. Who's the other guy they have there? Doug McDermott. For the right picks, or you can move on from those guys. I could see that.
And wasn't the at the end of last season, weren't the Bulls trying to tell us we're going to build this team around Jimmy Butler?
Yes, well, that was the whole reason we got rid of Derrick Rose. Is now Jimmy Butler's team, and the whole world is upside down on its head right now in the NBA.
And you trade him for what reason? You have an aging Dwayne Wade, an aging Rajon Rondo. Where do you go from there? And
I'll tell you another thing that happened once Cousins was taken off the market yesterday, over the weekend. Jahlil Okafor, the 76ers, I don't know what to call him.
Yeah,
they don't know what to do with him now.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with him now. He's been the subject of numerous trade talks, and there was a lot of talk that the Sixers were close to trading Okafor to the Portland Trail Blazers, but Portland decided to go against that. They're still trying to find an opportunity for Okafor on another team. It just has not worked out. He has not made it work in Philadelphia. And the knock on Okafor always was maybe he's a little too immature to be in a city like Philadelphia. He wasn't. You could just tell by the press conference. Remember when he had the 76ers? He was just like, I don't want to be here. And despite Coach K trying to do everything in his power to make it seem like he was, he's a good guy. There were a lot of questions regarding his maturity. And still are. Yeah, so it's not a good fit in Philadelphia. Hey, he's a big dude with a lot of talent, but
and if you're the 76ers right now, you're looking this season's a wash basically. Embiid is essentially out for the season. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
And Ben Simmons doesn't look like he's going to play this year either.
Yep.
So make a move.
No, he's not. They're not going to. They're going to keep him on the trade Okafor, see if you can get something else for him because he's not working out in Philly.
This is more of the quote-unquote process.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, like Vlade loves that word. It's the process. The process. The process. Everything's about the process. And maybe the best part, which went under the radar, by the way, was did you hear who got released? Hear it from Vlade because Vlade's great.
That was unfortunately thing that we have to do, but like again, we want to make different culture in the future and try to win the games.
The culture. We want to make a different culture in a few. Matt Barnes is no longer with the Sacramento. Yeah, apparently Matt Barnes.
Isn't he the one that went after Derek Fisher?
Yeah, no.
Or the opposite.
Yeah, Matt Barnes. Yes. Good stuff. Yeah, Matt Barnes no longer in the NBA at this point. Wow, what a shame. Wonder if somebody's going to pick him up.
It feels like he's been in the NBA for 20 years.
And there is no Carmelo Anthony trade going to happen. I know, Nick. It looks like Derrick Rose is now going to be traded before Carmelo Anthony.
And what does Carmelo recently say? It's Los Angeles or bust.
Yeah.
Clippers, Lakers, that's it.
That's good stuff, isn't it? Yeah.
Give the guy a no-trade clause. Not only do you pay him millions upon millions, you also add the no-trade clause, which just doesn't happen in the NBA. What are there, 3 players that have it total?
I would love to see what Boston does. To me, that's a very interesting storyline. Boston, do they just try to blow it up and go in a different direction? Can the Celtics get a Jimmy Butler? Rather, do the Bulls blow it up and the Celtics finally make that move everyone's been hoping they make? And even then, I don't know that Jimmy Butler's enough. Because you have to keep in mind, too, if you're a general manager of an NBA team, look at what you're battling. What are you going to do? It's not like you're 1 or 2 guys away, and in this case, you're only going to get one. It's not like these teams are 1 guy away from, here we come, Cleveland, who, by the way, has lost 4 in a row now. Just throwing that out there, they had wasn't very good with them.
But to your point, they need a superstar and they need depth.
They need something.
And you got to trade away your depth to get that superstar. So I
don't know.
I don't know how this comes into play.
I don't know. Why are you going to mortgage in order to be able to get to like a 4 seed or a 5 seed?
Does Paul George move? There's been talk of that, too.
Paul George. How could you not make it work with Paul George? I would take Paul George over any of these guys. A two-way player, a guy that plays on both ends of the course. He's like a Kawhi Leonard.
And a leader.
And I would take Paul George in a heartbeat I would trade the house for Paul George. How can you not make that work in Pacer world? What the hell's going on there? And congratulations, the All-Star game over the weekend. I was close, right? What did I say, like 400?
I forgot to check what the over-under was for that game. I have no clue, but
360, I think it was.
Was it?
Yeah,
oh,
it was
so it blew it out of the
360.
water. Okay.
Yeah, it was 192 to 182. It was close. It was a lot of defense.
Oh yeah.
And the good news for the NBA is that it was the most watched All-Star game telecast since 2013.
Was it really?
Yes, average of close to 8 million total viewers.
A lot of people must have been sick like I was sitting at home.
Yes.
Because that's the reason I had it on.
Yeah, and I do think that and again, rivalries and friction and villains certainly work in television and work in sports. And I think the idea of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant and the possibility of all of those guys playing on the same floor at the same time, I think that was intriguing.
There was some interesting, there was at one point Westbrook's going back to the bench. I think there was their vacant seat next to Durant, and he decided to take 15 seats over and basically sit in the crowd instead of sit next to Durant.
And it's interesting. Here were the top two cities in ratings for the All-Star game. You want to guess one of them?
Was it New Orleans?
No.
No?
No, that's Mardi Gras this week. You got to be kidding me. Them people are half in a bag. Ain't nobody watching basketball there. San Francisco, obviously, with Golden State.
Okay.
Because the entire team was there. And Oklahoma City.
Was
Oklahoma City, absolutely. Two top
Oklahoma City,
local markets for the game. And it's not, when you think about it, why not? So that's pretty good. Actually, collectively, when you take in Saturday's festivities and Sunday's game, they were the most viewed sports telecasts of the week across all TV networks. And they had absolutely no competition.
There was really nothing on this weekend.
Anthony Davis poured in 52. That broke Will Chamberlain's All-Star game scoring record of 42.
Yes.
In 1962. So finally got the home court advantage there. But it's just getting started. Now, I don't think we have a game until, Friday?
Thursday, I believe there's 2 games on tap. 4.
2, and then most everyone is back on Friday.
The Pelicans play the Rockets Thursday night. That's most interesting. Oh, Knicks and Cavs, too.
Knicks and Cavs. Interesting.
Like that means anything. But
hey, you know what? The Knicks finally won something.
You're right about that.
Right?
Yeah.
Congratulations to Porzingis for winning the skills challenge. You have any
idea? 7-footer.
Exactly. How fun it was to watch the big 7-foot white guy run through obstacles and then end up draining the 3 to win it at the end. How cool was that? I thought that was pretty awesome. Not going to lie. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, good stuff. It was a lot of fun. So now that the great NBA All-Star Weekend is over, and don't even get me started on that dunking competition was the worst thing I've ever. That dunk contest was awful this year, just awful.
I feel like once every 5 years we get a good dunk competition. Outside of that, it's dreadful.
The guy from last year, Gordon, that was that put on the show with Zach LaVine, he was terrible.
It was.
You got a guy that played in the D League. I told you about this guy, didn't I? I told you. I mentioned this last week. I said there's a guy that people are pissed off that he's even in a dunk competition because the only reason they even brought him up in Phoenix was just so he could actually play in this All-Star game in a dunk competition. And the only thing that this guy has on when you Google him is videos of him dunking. I knew he could dunk. And him and Glenn Robinson Jr., listen, congratulations. Glenn Robinson's clinching dunk was great. And they both kind of had, listen, there were dunks there that those two guys had that on any year would be spectacular. But there was just no consistency. It wasn't consistently great. It was everyone else kind of sucked. DeAndre Jordan, it was terrible. It was like, I mean, he didn't even make a dunk and still made it into the finals, the one guy at one point. He missed 3 in a row.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
No, even everyone on social media, former NBA players, current NBA, are like, God, this is terrible.
Where it was and now where it is today, ugh.
But there was a dude in you see this kid's videos in high school? This kid that's dunking all over the place in high school? Oh, you got to look it up. Kid's name escapes me right now. But there is a kid in high school right now that is just, there's a one-armed kid that's dunking all over they're like, bring him in next year. Why can't we have high school kids in the dunking competition? That's how bad it got.
Used to be the highlight and is
no
no
terrible
longer.
Now it's terrible. It's not even worth watching. And neither is that great defensive battle of 192 to 180. We almost made 400 points, man.
Wow.
Crazy.
I heard something yesterday I saw, I don't remember, somewhere on Twitter. How about make it take it for the NBA All-Star game? Maybe they play a little bit of defense, if that was the case.
I like that. I do like that.
Change it up a little bit.
I think you should go 3-on-3, like
or even
the
yeah.
NHL. Although the NHL's All-Star game right now, the rules are so freaking confusing as to how you win that. I don't even know how you do it. It just seems like random dudes just running out on the ice at different times. I can't tell you. I don't know how it wins.
Some guy gets some random breakaway that just came off the bench.
It's entertaining, but I don't know how the scoring. It's like 12 teams of 3. It's just the whole thing is very, very confusing. But I wouldn't mind if the NBA did that. I'd be like, okay, yeah, why not throw that in there? Why not? Let's see how that works out. Anything that revolves around playing defense, I'm a fan of. Swatting people.
There you go.
I got no tolerance for anything else. All right, we got 1 hour in the books here. Kind of hard to believe we're already 1 hour in. Wow, that's kind of crazy. We still got plenty to cover here on this Tuesday, including how the Darrelle Revis assault story just keeps getting stranger and stranger and stranger. Stranger Things. Darrelle, I don't know what the hell to think of this. It's getting even crazier. We'll have the latest on Darrelle, and I think it's hilarious how technically trades can't happen until, what, March 13th in the NFL? And yet the Dolphins are trading away everyone. They're trading for people. They're getting people. They're not. How is that even possible? Is it me, or wasn't there a strict rule? It's either the 9th or the 13th. Sometime in March. You can't solidify anything until March. What the hell are we doing?
Just in principle. Just
principle
handshake,
Yeah, we'll give you the latest on the NFL trade rumors. We'll do that. Lot to go here. Come up and join us on Facebook. Our Facebook Live video is strolling. You can see the I'm Steven Diener dance. He's wearing his Dolphins hoodie today. Looks like quite the toolbag. Fox Sports 640. Like us. Get involved. Come back and join us. Raineri and Zemach 640. Fox Sports South Florida.